always, and much is true. The world can feel upside down. Camp will always be there for you. We will always be around. We've got weather, sports, trivia, and shorts. And there's so much more that we've got in store. On Boogie Boogie Tov, Sugar Grove. Boogie Boogie Tov, Sugar Grove. Boogie Boogie Tov, Sugar Grove. Boogie Boogie Tov, Sugar Grove.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Josh Polster.
And I'm Eliza Makovsky.
And this is Boker Tov Sugar Grove. Today is Thursday, July 2nd, the 10th of Tammuz. And today we're going to play some classic Ram Kol Kima music, as always, all of your hit favorites, and maybe some that you're just plain sick of. We're going to discuss today's Chutz-themed Indoor World Daily Challenges. Hope everybody had a good night sleeping outside last night. Chat with another special guest. Hear a dramatic reading from a new guest host. And so much more. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yisrael, Ma Tov Lecha Yaakov Mishkenosecha Yisrael, Ani Mirov Chasecha Avo Beisecho Eshtachaveh Chalkochecha B'yirasecha Pa-pa-da-pam, pa-pa-da-pam Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nira Li'ez Naso B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kichlos HaKol V'bahado Yilach Lora V'hu Haya V'hu Haveh V'hu Yiyeh B'sifara Nishmasi b'chemlo Rabbo emunasecha Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'ez Nasa B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'ez Naso B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'ez Naso B'chepto Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adonai Asher Molach
right, that is one of my favorite morning songs, personally. We are going to go right into the overview of the day with some Indoor World updates. Josh, what's on the schedule?
Well, in case anybody hadn't noticed, or somehow, despite explicit instructions, missed Aruchat Eser yesterday, it's the Chutz!
Woo!
Everybody should have been outside, sleeping out under the stars. We hope you had a nice night. We hope that you built your Chutz site and sent us pictures.
I did not wake up with a spider on my face this morning, so I'd call it a success.
I think that's a resounding victory for a Chutz trip. Amazing job to the Roshei Pluga Eida Daled for their fantastic Chutz breakout video and their leadership during these times. Today in Tochnit, in Chavrutot and in Shiurim, we continue to discuss famine as a catalyst for change in personal and communal thought, as well as how we relate to nature around us in times of difficulty. Shout out to the winner of the 301 raffle, Mordechai Schwartz.
Congratulations!
You too can join the 301, which is 5 minutes and 1 second of Torah. Count it up. It works. I had to check, though. I wasn't sure. With your Roshei Beit Midrash at 7 p.m. every night to enter that same raffle, and maybe you can win and receive a shout-out on the morning show for our tens of viewers.
Today's daily challenges are all Chutz-themed challenges. Most important this morning is the never-ending breakfast for family challenge. We expect that you should be out there all day, and this breakfast should never end. Make some of your favorite never-ending breakfast dishes: eggs, omelets, other forms of eggs, bread with eggs. Is there anything else that we make in never-ending breakfast?
I mean, theoretically, you could really make whatever you want because it never ends. Eventually, you're going to run out of eggs. You're going to have to make something else.
That is very true. I think this year we have a distinct advantage because you have access to your whole pantry instead of just what the Meatbach brings you. So maybe you could come up with something new that maybe we'll even introduce on the Never Ending Breakfast next year.
That could be. Maybe you'll get bonus points for the culinary creativity associated with your never-ending breakfast this morning.
I imagine
now that you have access to a wider variety of resources.
If you actually ship us, or not us, I mean, we're whatever. If you ship your Roshei Mosheva, your creations, and they eat it and it's still good by the time it gets here, I imagine you could get a pretty significant number of points for the leaderboard.
Although, if you can ship it to the Roshei Mosheva and it's still good by the time it gets there, you probably don't want to eat it.
No, definitely not.
So, that's a little bit of a catch-22. Let's see how you can figure that out.
Anyway, the individual and Tzevet challenges are to build a Chutz project. You choose the project, you build it. Examples might include a bench, a tetherball court, a mechitza, anything you can come up with that we may or may not have built on the Chutz in the past.
It's interesting because normally when we go on the Chutz, we try to rebuild all of Machaneh on the Chutz, right? We build shuls, we build tetherball courts, because you can't live without tetherball courts in the wilderness, obviously. And now, everybody at home is trying to build the Chutz, right? So it's another degree removed, right? The Chutz imitates building camp, and now you at home imitate building the Chutz. So let's see your creations and see how they come out. The Bunk Challenge is coming soon. It's going to be announced shortly. And the Family Challenge is Never Ending Breakfast. Creativity, we want to see what you make. We hope that you enjoyed opening your first mini box in your Indoor World packages for the Chutz box. That's a pretty interesting flashlight you have in there, isn't it?
Very interesting flashlight. I wouldn't lose it if I were you.
Definitely don't lose it. Stay tuned for more box opening updates.
Okay, this is maybe the part I'm most excited about for today's show. There we have a very, very special announcement. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Slow Shira will be live streamed from the dining deck. This is the beginning of our first Shabbat of Indoor World. You should be receiving, or you might have already received, a Shabbat schedule. And this is how we're going to start it off. Think about all of your favorite Shira songs, and you can request them for us to sing tonight. How do you request them? Either write them in the chat in Spreaker if you're listening live, or we'll be posting a poll on Instagram after the show, and you can request them there as well.
I'm excited to see what people want to sing. It's always fun.
Always a good time. This Morning Show podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Hi, I'm Tzviki Goldberg. Are you looking for a quick way to learn Torah? Switch to Godco for our Trademark 301 program. Godco. 5 minutes could save you 5% or more on soul insurance.
All right. The This morning in weather and traffic updates. Got to keep in the know about what's going on around Sugar Grove. Today in Sugar Grove, it's predicted to be partly cloudy with a high of 85 and a low of 64. Pretty similar to every other day this week. The sun will be out for 15 hours and 9 minutes, which is the length of the day. Once again, there is actually 0% chance of rain, which fits perfectly with the fact that it never rains at Camp Stone. AccuWeather.com, our source for weather news, has declared it completely impossible that it will rain today.
And for some news from Sugar Grove, for the first time in 52 years, there was no line for MORP hours this morning on the Chutz. It's good to see that everyone is feeling well and having a great time at Machane.
That is truly a wonderful milestone, actually. It's a very wholesome and healthy milestone. I'm glad we got there.
We would like to give
a shout out to the mezzanine and the balcony. Next up, we have our mailbox, right? We post polls on Instagram, you answer them, and then we talk about the results and how we feel about them and whether you're right or wrong. The question from yesterday's poll was favorite camp tablecloth design. And the variety of answers was actually pretty astounding. People responded with designs that Eliza and I had basically completely forgotten about or maybe never even seen at all. So it's cool to see what people remember and what you guys like to see on those tables. Popular answers included, obviously, Hello Kitty. That's pretty much the one we have the most of, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and almost everyone has them at home now for their chutz.
That's true. You received one in your chutz boxes, and you should be using those in your chutz challenges. We're excited to see what you do with them. Other answers were, it's a boy tablecloths.
No one said it's a girl.
Do we even have... We might just not
have
you might
those. Just not have that.
It wasn't like we went to the store and bought half and half. It was kind of just what we got.
That's true. That's true.
So it's only applicable for half of camp, but that's okay. We've got Elmo, always a good one. Transformers, Finding Dory. Finding Dory, I think, was a very limited...
I don't remember that.
Time period. We must have only had it, immediately after the movie's release, and then I think we ran out pretty quickly and didn't get more.
Maybe we liked it too much.
I think that was a limited run Campstone tablecloth edition. We've got Star Wars, as always, his personal favorite. As a large Star Wars fan, I know. That's always my favorite to see on the tables. And as well as Mickey Mouse and occasionally Thanksgiving. We still have lots of those, so I suspect we'll see those again on tables in the future.
As we said just right before this, the next poll that we'll be putting out right after the show are your favorite Sochi Ra songs. The Rosh Moshva are accepting requests for tonight's event, so make sure to go to our Instagram at IndoorWorld2020 to share your thoughts.
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great. Just one more announcement about our new podcast that we started putting out yesterday. It is called On Shmirah, and it is your nightly podcast where your favorite Tzevet members share their favorite Shmirah stories to help you fall asleep. The most recent episode was done by Tzadok Blau, who invited his friend Robert in to tell the story, and I have to say, it is a very good story. I very much recommend it. You can find the podcast on the Indoor World website, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the other podcast apps that Spreaker connects to.
The show really is incredible. I know we have trouble because when Eliza's editing it, I tend to fall asleep.
That's true, actually.
It's highly effective. The intro, the outro, the midtro. It's amazing. You should make sure to go check out On Shmirah. Today's morning show podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Jackie, I have this problem.
Lay it on me, Moses.
Well, as you know, I have my brother's wedding coming up, and none of my camp bracelets match my tuxedo.
Wow, you're right. That's a huge problem.
I know, right? I mean, where could I even get a black tie silicone bracelet at such short notice?
That's so crazy that you mentioned that, because I just heard about this amazing new vintage boutique behind the Bayit.
No way, Jackie.
Yeah, and it's called Yaakov's Closet. How cute is that name?
So cute. What do they got there?
They have bracelets for all your special events, like weddings, bar mitzvahs, and even spelling bees or Olympiadas. Plus, they're having a huge sale right now. Buy one, get the other bracelet at full price.
That's a great deal.
I know. Plus, they have this amazing no lifetime guarantee.
Wait, Jackie, are you telling me that if my bracelet breaks, I won't get a new one for free?
That's right. That's their guarantee.
I love it. Could I order them on the Stoneware site?
Nope, but they can't wait for you to cover your arms in them in the near future.
Incredible. So I'll just walk to Sugar Grove and pick one up myself.
Don't forget to take a ride on Deer Run.
Next up, we have our interview segment, Between Two Bunk Beds, we brought on another incredible guest. She's known by many names, Jaquie, Jaquellen. It never really ends. Introducing our wonderful friend, Jackie Austin. We're back here on another segment of Between Two Bunk Beds, our segment where we interview the best and most exciting personalities of Machane Stone and Indoor World. Thank you for joining us today, Jackie Austin.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a huge honor to be here. I can't believe you guys asked me to interview. It's really a big deal for me.
Well, we are very lucky to have you, not just on this radio show, but also in general at Camp Stone. How long have you been working at camp?
I think this would have been my 7th summer working.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I'm one of the older crew. I love it.
An experienced and qualified veteran.
There we go. That's a really lovely way of saying it.
You and Ralph, you know.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. We both kind of walk around in a daze. That's fine.
Ralph and Jackie. That's tomorrow's poll. Is Ralph or Jackie?
Dang, who's gonna win?
Oh, I definitely don't want to see that. I know who's gonna win.
That's awkward.
That'll be a blow.
Well, in your 7th summer here, Jackie, what are you doing here in Indoor World? What's your role?
I am technically Rosh Tzevet, which is kind of like, I mean, I know there's a lot of like weird positions this summer of people doing things that they never expected in ways they never expected. But I kind of have a kind of Tzevet here and a kind of Tzevet outside, external staff, internal staff. And it's really fun though, because I get to run things for both groups and help both groups out. So that's been like really enjoyable, even though it's complicated with timings and things like that, but it's good.
Yeah, I saw you've been doing Tzevet lightning rounds.
Yeah, every day at 12, because it's like good for the Israelis and the Americans. We have a lightning round, which is really nice. And we have like a lot of the same people coming in, and we just talk about like either how their chogim are going or their chavruta, or we just talk about in general, because it's usually like a pretty nice small group.
I also have been particularly enjoying your segment, What Won't She Do? Is that what it is called?
Yeah, in fact, if campers want, they can totally send in things too. I have a segment that's mainly for Tzevet, because I just like want them to be entertained by things that I do. And so that's essentially where people send me in challenges, and I guess we'll find out what I won't do. You have to send me in stuff. I have to sometimes get permission for some of them. Sometimes I won't. And I'll video them and I'll post them on our YouTube.
Well, they've been pretty funny. That chocolate-covered pickle looked delicious.
Yup. Yeah, it was the grossest thing ever.
The question is, how does it compare to chocolate-covered broccoli?
I actually never tried that. I kind of have a feeling, though, that broccoli would be pretty good, like covered in chocolate. Though I honestly thought that pickles covered in chocolate was going to be good, because I was like, oh, salty sweet.
I'm really not sure why you thought that.
So bad. It was, I don't know, you can have chocolate-covered pretzels. I don't know. I really thought it would be good. It wasn't.
Okay, in Jackie's mind, pickles are equivalent to pretzels.
Okay,
now we know.
Okay.
Now, Jackie, a big part of your role as Rosh Tzevet, both in the past and this year, has been planning what's come to be known as, mainly through you, Tzevetivities.
Correct.
And those are these kind of crazy, fun night activities, or I guess now they can be day activities too, for Tzevet, what with the whole international time zone balancing act that you put on. What are some of the highlights, some of the greatest or most interesting Tzevetivities you've ever run?
Well, last year was really fun because we did like thematic based off of like Chagim in the year, and then we like just made up some holidays towards the end because we ran out of Chagim. But one of my favorite ones,
like it would be a challenge to run out of Chagim.
You would think, but then like, you know, for every oneg, and then you have like 2 or 3 a week, like you end up running out. So we made, I think some of my favorite ones were ones we, oh my god, that is massive. Woo! That was a really big wasp.
Flew in between us.
We're good. Okay.
Everything's gonna be okay, I think.
Anyway, I had really fun. Well, first, I really liked our Purim thing. We did like a giant Purim Suda in the Butler Building last year, which was so much fun, which I really enjoyed. And another really, really fun one that we did was we did a tie-dye movie evening. I don't even remember what we called it. It was like Chag, like I don't remember what it was. But essentially, me and my Ari bought out candy from like the dollar store and Walmart, and we set up like a concession stand and like pretended to like sell concessions to the Tzevet. It was so fun. Oh, that was such a good one. That was an awesome evening. So they did tie-dye downstairs, came up for a movie, had like just too much food. It was awesome. It was great.
That's amazing. Well, I know I've had a lot of fun at your Summitivities. I still wear my tie-dye shirt. So.
Oh, good.
That's for sure. I have one as well. That's definitely still in the rotation.
That's amazing. That's
so.
good.
All right, well, as you know, because you've been a strong part of the Instagram, we actually consider ourselves the Gram Gals.
The Gram Gals.
Jackie and I, we
I have no part of this, by the way.
Josh is not involved.
Otherwise it has to be the Gram guys, and it just doesn't have the same tone.
No, it's just the two of us, but we love the Instagram, and you've seen we've been doing polls on the Instagram, so we want to hear your opinion on the poll that we're going to be talking about today, or that we've spoken about today already. What is your favorite Campstone tablecloth design?
So I love that we have so many, and I love that we don't really care if it matches. Like, I love that. I think my favorite is there's a few Sesame Street ones, but there's one that's like really pretty blue color with like Elmo is like I think a baby on the front. Love that one. Big fan. If not, we also like randomly will have just like really pretty butterfly ones. I'm really into those as well.
Really? Butterfly ones?
Yeah.
I can't remember seeing those.
I know what you're talking. I know
You
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, maybe.
I'll show you. I think I hid some away for a Shabbat, so
There you go.
I'll show you what they look
Jackie
like.
knows where the secret stash of butterfly tablecloths is. That's the exclusive knowledge coming out of this interview. All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
You guys so much for having me.
Thank you for everything you're doing for Tzevet. If Tzevet wants to know more about the activities you're planning, how do they find out?
We post a lot on our WhatsApp group. That's like our main source, I would say. We're currently updating the website portion because we were having a bit of technical difficulty, so we're updating that again. We have lots of
technical difficulties at
YouTube.
Indoor
It's
World.
true. It's a personal thing. It's entirely Jackie's fault. But yeah, so any of those things, or you can always text me. I know most of you guys have my phone number, so if you want to know more, you can do that. You can contact us like that.
Incredible. Thank you so much for joining us, Jackie.
My
Everybody listening, you can catch Jackie and her brand new glow-in-the-dark glasses.
Oh, they're so cool!
Because who thought that was a thing? But they really are that cool. On all of your next Tzevet lightning rounds and Tzevetivities. Jackie, thank you for joining us. And the vlogs, of course.
Vlogging.
Thank you for joining us here on Between Two Bunk Beds.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
All right. Moving forward into our guest segment, our guest host slot. All the way from Israel, one of your favorite voices of Kima from Second Session 2019. Our newest guest host on this segment is back with a critically acclaimed camper favorite. Sahara Aziz is joining us for a dramatic reading of the Dr. Seuss story, And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Enjoy.
Boker Tov, Sugar Grove. It is so good to say that again. I have missed it so much this past year. So hello everybody, far and wide. It's Zahara Aziz coming to you from Israel, and I will be reading and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street by the inimitable Dr. Seuss. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, "Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see." But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, "Your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales, stop turning minnows into whales." Now what can I say when I get home today? All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've looked and I've kept careful track. But all that I've noticed, except my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course. Just a broken-down wagon that's drawn by a horse? That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling that cart. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame. The story would really be better to hear if the driver I saw were a charioteer. A golden blue chariot, something to meet, rumbling like thunder down Mulberry Street. No, it won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he'd look mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute. There's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and sleigh. Say, anyone could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat. Say, even Jean could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size. A blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. And then, just to give him a little more tone, have a Raja with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But now, I don't know. It still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip it around in the air like a kite. But he'd look simply grand with a great big brass band. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it. But it's going so fast that it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know they won't mind. If a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. There's really too heavy a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs 2 at least. But now what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into Bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them through where traffic's thick. It takes police to do the trick. They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant Mulvaney himself in the lead. The mayor is there, and he thinks it is grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there, and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. With a roar of his motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story that's really not bad, but it still could be better. Suppose that I had a Chinese boy who eats with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more, I'm almost home. I swung round the corner and dashed through the gate. I ran up the steps and I felt simply great, for I had a story that no one could beat, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school. There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled at his chin. He frowned at me sternly from there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at, no people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain old horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. Thank you, and have a nice day, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you so much, Zahara. Zahara was actually a staff member in the village with us last year. She is really a gem, and we are so lucky to have her on the show, so thank you, Zahara. We really appreciate it. Now, for some chat shout-outs. These are for people who are listening live to us right now and have responded in the chat to let us know that they're here and that they're listening. Shout out to Micha or Micah and Ariella from Silver Spring, Karen, Chanoch, Akiva, and Yardena from Cleveland, Jacob from Charleston, Atara from New York, Sly from Highland Park, and a very, very special shout-out to Lisa from Sugar Grove.
Now it's time for leaderboard updates. Keep you up to date on all of the challenge points and who's in the lead. Our website, it's very exciting, has had 46,000 views.
Unreal.
In the last, I think, 3 days. It's been 4 days since we started this whole thing.
Crazy.
And it's so incredible to see everybody out there getting involved and getting excited.
All right, in the individual league, we've got Mayor Frankel, Tess Piper, Molly Piper, Micha Frankel, and Devora Bentor. In the family league, we've got the Kelman family, the Frankel family, the Piper family, the Smolensky family, and the Aryeh family. And in the Tzevet league, we've got Yael, Chava, David, Noach, and Ilan. We are very excited to have the Bunk League coming out today, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. Keep doing your challenges so you can get points and go get onto the leaderboard.
Woo, leaderboard. Everybody loves the leaderboard. That's it for today's episode of Boker Tov Sugar Grove. Thank you to Jackie Austin, Yael Engelhardt, and Moses Beebe for our fantastic intro song. We'll be here every morning from 9:45 Eastern Time, streaming live on the Indoor World website. You can also catch up on our past episodes on the Indoor World website, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you for joining us here on Boker Tov Sugar Grove. Now, Piturim to Indoor World.
Times have changed and much is true. The world can feel upside down. Camp will always be there for you. You will always be